explore zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
Yes.
That was the press that broke out in applause. Can you believe that? I've never seen that happen before. The press actually broke out in applause. Good. Columbus Day. We're back. Columbus Day, we're back, Italians. We love the Italians. Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you. Great. Thank you very much.
Have a good one, sir.
So we covered Scandinavia and Italy. Not bad. Now for the rest of the world. So I want to thank everybody for being here. As you know, last night we reached a...
I'm Camille Arneri in Roseville. We're working this story. Authorities say a minor was sexually assaulted by an older man. Wait till you find out what he does for a living. That story coming up.
A Macomb County Corrections officer accused of assaulting an inmate. I'm Dave Kinchin. We'll tell you what the charges are next.
It's a game changer.
Getting creative to make a dent in the mental health crisis, and it all starts with a 911 call. I'm Jessica Dubnak, and I'll explain next.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 10 starts now.
A trusted educator in a position of power facing disturbing charges tonight, accused of sexually assaulting a minor. This is Fox 2 News at 10. I'm Ruth Raj.
And I'm Taryn Asher. An assistant principal from Detroit facing potentially life in prison. In fact, Ms. Camille Amiri has been working this story for us tonight. She's in Roseville right now. Camille, this is disturbing.
Yeah, these are very, very disturbing allegations. Now, investigators are in charge here in Roseville because they say this is where the incident took place, the alleged incident. This is also where the suspect lives, but they're not saying if this happened at his house or somewhere else. Now, I want you to take a look at some video, take a look at the person's mugshot so we can talk a little bit more. You know who I'm talking about. This is 54-year-old Jerome Younger, an assistant principal at Edward Duke Ellington Conservatory at Beckham Academy in Detroit. He's accused of criminal sexual assault in the first degree involving a minor. Authorities are not saying if the victim is a student at the school. The alleged sexual abuse happened yesterday. Younger was arrested the same day and then formally charged today.
You know, you lead as a role model for children, and then it's alleged that you've taken advantage of them. Yeah, it's not only disturbing, but it's downright ugly to have something like this happen.
Now, so far, there is only one confirmed victim, but there may be more out there. Meanwhile, we reached out to Detroit Public Schools, waiting to hear back from them as far as his employment goes. We've also reached out to Detroit Police Department because, get this, he has been involved for decades with their junior police cadet program, working with minors, mentoring them. So a lot more to come on this story. Of course, we're going to continue to follow it, bring you the latest as soon as we get it. Reporting live in Roseville, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
Well, Camille, do we know any of the circumstances around these allegations? I mean, was this something where allegedly grooming this young person, or was it a one-time incident?
And, you know, I asked the prosecutor that. He just really wasn't willing to give up a lot of information because it does involve a minor, and he has to be so careful about talking about the details so we don't learn accidentally who the person was. He really wants to protect that person's identity. I did talk to neighbors, however, though, and they confirmed that, yes, he is a neighbor. They said that he lives by himself. He stays to himself. He's kind of a hermit. He doesn't have people over. He barely ever leaves the house. So that was an interesting point, too. And, of course, coming up tonight at 11, we're going to hear more about the victim's mindset after what has happened.
All right. We'll talk to you then at 11. Thanks, Camille.
Well, a Macomb County deputy is on the wrong side of the law tonight, accused of assault with an inmate at the Macomb County Jail.
And Fox News' Dave Kinchin is live in Warren with this story tonight. Dave, what details do you have on this?
Yeah, you know, this is really something. So this corrections deputy was in court today to answer these charges. This all stems from an incident that took place early last month. So we'll break it all down for you tonight. We'll tell you what we know so far from what investigators are telling us. They say that on Friday, September 1st, corrections deputy Daniel Gawlis allegedly assaulted an inmate at the Macomb County Jail, requiring that person to need a head scan and stitches at a hospital. Today, he was charged with obstruction of justice, a 5-year felony, and aggravated assault, a 1-year misdemeanor. Now, we're told that corrections deputy was given a personal bond of $10,000. We spoke with former Detroit Police Assistant Chief Steve Dolan about how these types of cases are investigated.
It's not easy because you got to make sure that there's real witnesses. You talk to the witnesses, and you got to get statements from both sides and look for conflicting information. And again, what is his prior history? What is the prisoner's history? Have there been any other allegations against this corrections officer? So these things you got to look at, and hopefully, well, it appears there's enough there to be charged.
Now, Prosecutor Lucido in Macomb County says that no one is above the law, even those in law enforcement, and that his office will be acting accordingly. Sheriff Wickersham of Macomb County also saying that his office is certainly aware of the charges, and they promise accountability and transparency as the legal process unfolds. Tonight on The Edge, we'll take a deeper look into exactly whether reform is needed in the criminal justice system, specifically as it relates to corrections officers and dealing with inmates. So we'll have that on The Edge. For now, we're live in Warren in Macomb County. Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Dave, a little bit more about the charges themselves. We understand the assault charge. Talk about the other one.
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting one, too. And as it relates to the evidence gathering and all of this, too, certainly there's surveillance systems in these in these jails, numerous cameras, and witnesses will have to be interviewed. There could be a tricky part with these kinds of cases, especially if you're dealing with inmates, whether or not stories match up. We'll get into more about that on The Edge as well as we take a deeper look into how these charges came about.
All right, Dave Kinchin for us live. We'll talk to you in less than an hour.
A wild high-speed chase in Macomb County. A driver takes police onto this golf course. The man under arrest and now facing charges. This happened Monday, and it started at 16 Mile and Prentice. Eventually, he was on Masonic near Harper when he drove onto the St. Clair Shores Golf Club. From the rough to the fairways and beyond, he went, and later, he tried to get on I-94, but going the wrong way. The man ended up crashing into a ditch where he got out, ran, and tried to break into 4 homes.
I was confronted by 2 homeowners. One indicated he had a gun and the suspect fled. The other one, he was asking for keys to his car. He said, I'll give you the keys if you put a fork down, because he picked up a fork. As soon as he put the fork down, there was an altercation. Subject then grabbed the fork and stabbed the individual in the hand. He fled. Deputies were coming around the area. They were able to tackle him and take him into custody.
The suspect is this man, Thomas Tackett. He has a lengthy criminal history and is being held right now without bond.
A local attorney held captive in Israel, Huwaida Araf, a mother whose Gazan was on board a vessel as part of an international flotilla carrying supplies to Gaza. The goal was to end a blockade. According to her husband, Israeli forces took people on board and started interrogating them.
She's facing charges of infiltration. Even though she was detained 120 miles out at sea. And so if they choose to try to prosecute her, that could lead to potentially a long-term trial and imprisonment if the court rules against her.
Supporters call it an illegal abduction. Israel calls it security. The flotilla group is demanding everyone's release and the return of that ship.
Oh, we ended up having a beautiful day, but again, some cool nights. And some people even were hearing turning on the furnace.
Yeah, the furnace is, you can hear it kind of collectively throughout Metro Detroit. And weather authorities, Stephanie Mead, the buzz, the hum.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that the hum we're hearing right now? We have been seeing those cold nights, though, for sure. Yesterday was the beginning of it. We have one more tonight, and then we start to see our temperatures become a bit more mild as we head through this upcoming weekend. Live look over the city, slight wiggle to the camera, but winds really are nothing anything notable at the moment. They are light and will continue to remain light, but really just a beautiful night here across the city of Detroit. Temps are starting to cool for a lot of spots. 53 in the city, 47 in Pontiac, 39 in Ann Arbor, 43 in Howell right now. So those temps are getting pretty close to the upper 30s for a lot of spots. We do have that frost advisory. We've been talking about this pretty much all day today. The exceptions are Wayne County and also Monroe County, but even still, there could be some patchy frost within those communities as well. So keep that in mind. If you have any sensitive plants outdoors, just be sure to cover those up. 42 tonight for an overnight low. We'll keep it mostly clear and chilly. And I think tomorrow morning for your bus stop, we are looking at temperatures in the lower 40s, so you will need a jacket for sure. Lots of clear skies, plenty of sunshine too as we wrap up your work week here. We are looking at a semi-mildish looking weekend. Temps should return to the middle 60s. We are also tracking maybe a rain chance potentially as we head through late Friday and into Saturday as well. So we'll get timing on that for you and the full forecast coming up in the next 20 minutes.
Police officers are often the first line of defense when it comes to this mental health crisis. I'm Jessica Dupnack, and there is a new pilot program to change all of that. We'll dig in coming up.